What up, world? My name is Nicholas Coriano. I'm going to do a video here on three things I learned in the OTC in 2022. I took some notes, so if you see me, keep looking down. Um, Number one, something about why mergers don't go through, acquisitions don't go through. Number two, the main thing I learned from reading filings. And number three, the silver bullet. So if you guys don't know who I am, Nicholas Coriano, went to business school, went to law school, graduated both. Work at 3DX Industries, an over-the-counter traded company. Got brought on about 2 years ago as a consultant, and then I came on full time because I liked what they were doing. My main gig is consulting, so I ran over 2,000 business plans. And I wanted to share this video because I've seen a lot of guys really on Twitter. I share these videos on YouTube. I started documenting my journey about 5 years ago and building in public, and just really so I can document my mistakes and my journey and my successes so I can double down on my successes and try to avoid my mistakes. So year end here had me thinking a lot about what went right, what went wrong, and yeah, I thought somebody could learn from it because I remember being a young trader. I put up a tweet the other day that was like, at 20, I thought the only way to get rich was in the OTC. At 30, I thought everything was a scam in the OTC. And at 40, I realized it was somewhere in between. Well, I'm 40 now. And I thought of my younger self, and I see some of the people on Twitter, and I thought, I think this information could help. So let's get to it. Number one, why some mergers don't go through. I can't speak for all mergers and acquisitions. But for us, what happened was it was easy to ink the deal. It was easy to go to somebody that was selling a company and be like, hey, we're going to overpay you, right? We're going to give you more than the value you would ask for in cash because we're going to pay you in stock. Your revenues come on the books. It's a win-win, right? Now, the biggest issue was accounting and legal. To get it through, most businesses don't have PCAOB accounting. So most businesses are not accounting on a public company level, right? So even though we're alternative reporting, our intent is to get full reporting and eventually either uplist to the QB or the NASDAQ. So in that vein, we were trying to make sure that the accounting was right. And it became pretty apparent pretty quickly that the accounting was going to cost us more than the acquisition. So we were resource strapped. We could do the deal, right? It made sense to the seller. It made sense to us. But then you have to go back and audit 2 years. So they have to make sure that accounting is perfect. And the bill was going to be 250, 350, $350,000, right? When everything was said and done. And time, right? And time. So I just remember being young, investing in OTC companies, being like, yo, they just said that they were going to close this deal. Like, what happened? What went wrong? And I think that's the deal with a lot of OTC companies, right? They have the intention is good. And I'm not saying all of them, right? There's, what everybody on Twitter likes to call the scams out there. But I think with the intention on it with a lot of them is good, right? They understand, hey, this is a win-win for both of us, but the logistics behind it, the accounting and the legal end up costing them resources that they just don't have. So that's what happened, with our acquisition. And I realized, because I remember being 20, looking and saying, yo, how are these guys just going to unwind that after they said that they did it? Well, because it was easy to sign the paper with the seller. It was real easy. Like I can go to at the conversation, right? It all makes sense. It still makes sense, to be honest, right? What didn't make sense was spending money you don't have to fulfill the accounting requirements. So that's the main reason why, I look back and I say, damn, okay, I learned that, right? There was companies out there that they say they inked the deal, they close the deal because the contract with another company is simple. It's a signature, but to get it through the auditing and the legal is money. And if you don't have it, it's tough. All right, number two, the main thing I learned from reading filings. So the main thing I learned from reading filings, don't mind my baby's crying in the background, I have a newborn. The main thing I learned from reading filings was, they're teaching you how to make all this money. And me as a novice investor back 20 years ago, my thought was always, I can't believe they're diluting. I can't believe the CEO is taking all these shares. I can't believe XYZ happened. But this is my advice to, traders that have been here 2 years and under. Okay. If you see that they're making a crap load of money like that, understand that that may be a path for you in the future. There's a lot of OTC companies out here that would take a $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 check, and you could get crazy, crazy good terms. So when you're reading the filings, keep that in mind because that's one of the things that stood out to me this year, right? Is you start realizing, man, if I had to tell my 20-year-old self something, it would be, Nick, don't gamble on Ameritrade. Go and talk to the CEO and see if there's a deal you could work out for the 1,000, 5,000, because they really are resource strapped, right? That's what a lot of these 90% of the OTC went there to raise capital, right? For some kind of liquidity. So when you're reading the filings, understand that when you're learning about warrants and debentures and convertibles, it's an opportunity that it may present itself in the future for you to take advantage of. So that's that. And then number three, the silver bullet. Um, there is no silver bullet. But if there was a silver bullet, this is what I think the silver bullet is. It's time, because it's not a press release. It's not financials. Like, these are all things that I can point companies to you that were consistent with it, right? It's not share reductions, as I like to call them, financial maneuvering. But really, what increases your probability of success in any investment, forget about OTC for a second, any investment, is time. That's why, when you go to school for finance, the first thing they teach you is the time value of money, right? Because the equation for your money to grow or dissipate is time. So if there was a silver bullet, it would be time. But there is no silver bullet. There is no one thing, because trust me, if there was a one thing, the executives would be trying to do it with you guys. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you guys have a great 2023. I hope that you guys learned a lot in 2022. And I'm rooting for you guys, man. Stay positive. Be good.